Hey friends, how are you doing? Hope you're all doing well. So I just wanted to jump on here and share another little mystical spiritual experience that I've had, throughout my awakening. And this is about like the Merkabah. Um, so I've told a little bit of stories, experiences so far, as far as when I was working at um, the addiction center with eating disorders and things like that. And so there was a one day that I was in there and I was actually sitting there in class monitoring while they were doing their yoga practices and things like that. And of course we have to sit there and observe, make sure they're not doing anything that's, inappropriate or not in alignment with their um, what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. We'll just say it that way. But anyway, I was sitting there and I was like starting to like do some. This was kind of when the beginning of when I was doing my automatic writing. Like things were starting to come in, and I was just kind of like scribbling on the pad every now and then. And all of a sudden, because when I was looking down, it was so funny because like when I looked down at the pad and I was taking notes and scribbling, because I had to take notes of what was going on in the class so I can put them in the note registry. So um, so what was happening, like when I looked down and was writing notes, like I actually seen this uh, energetic shape and form that came out that had all these different points. And of course, it's the beginning of my awakening, so I didn't really know what it was at the time, but it had these points on it and going in different directions. It was almost like, and when I looked it up, it was like a Merkabah, is what the picture showed. It was like a Merkabah. So it literally came out of my chest because I was looking down and it came out of my chest and it was like, it was see through, but it was energetic lines, along the points, right? So it came out here and like not too far out from me, and then it did like this Rubik's cube kind of thing. It shifted and locked and clicked and then went back within, and I was like, what is that? It was so weird. Like I never seen anything that like that happen. So I really didn't know what was going on, but I jotted that down. I was like, what is that? And then so later I went and I checked it out. And from the picture of what I seen on that energetic level, when, my third eye and my senses were opening, that's what it was. It was a Merkaba. So with the Merkaba, that helps you to connect. It keeps you protected in those spaces. Um, when you're channeling and when you're doing your work. And so for me, I don't really get into the whole um, I need to be protected when I do my intuitive writings or when I do my channeling and my sessions. A lot of people do that, but that comes out of fear. So you're actually kind of attracting that. But knowing that I have that Merkaba activated, it does keep me protected, and it gives me this, like I said, this protection around me. So whenever I do any like spiritual work, channeling, or if I do automatic writing, or if I do like sessions with people, it's already there. It also helps when I do go and leave my body, on any outer journeys, OBs, anything like that. So now I don't know if you guys have ever had the experience of, the Merkaba, but it's definitely a thing, um, because I had the experience prior to really knowing about it. So I do want to, just share that and let you know about it. And so it also helps with not only protection, but your communication level and being able to astral travel, do OBs, things like that. All right. Now this just came to me and it just happened, so I really don't know like how you would in tune to it to try to create it or make it active within you. That part I'm not, it was just time for me to be ready for it, and so it just happened automatically. And so sometimes I do want to let you know that when you are trying to force something, you're kind of actually keeping it from happening. Also, things just happen when it's time, right? So I want to just put that out there. Things just happen in time. And so yes, we can wait and wait and wait until it's time, but there's things that you can do to prepare yourself for it to happen. So if you're doing things like healthy eating, meditating, connecting with nature, you're going to help ready yourself in that way for things to happen on the spiritual path, right? So you're actually setting your intent in by doing these things, and when it is, it'll I don't want to say it's going to happen tomorrow, but it'll let the universe and source, your divine connection, and those who are ready to work with you, your spirit guides, things like that, know that you're really wanting this, right? So when you take the actions that you're either already on the path that's opening for you, or you're in tuning your intention that you are ready, right? So you can do that. Um, I don't recommend doing things that are very forceful, though, but allowing the universe to know that you're ready and you want to step forward and do that and onto the path. So there is that. So you can always do that as far as, readying yourself for that, because things don't come unless you are ready, basically. So um, making yourself ready and available, would be the way to, go about that. So meditation, nature, eating healthy, things like that. All right. Um, and that's pretty much everything I wanted to share on that, as far as the Merkabah experience and how to maybe prepare yourself and be ready for that. Um, and then whatever it is else that needs to happen prior to that. So like, say if you are starting to eat healthy, you're meditating, going out to nature, practicing, you're setting that alignment. If there's anything else that you need to do prior to that, like self-healing work or anything like that, if that comes to you to do, you'd want to do that, right? So you want to prepare yourself to be in that alignment, because a lot of people, in my experience, and which is why I stopped doing certain things, because when I was teaching um, Reiki, right, people would come for the attunements, but then they wouldn't show up for the practice. So to me, that was showing that, yes, we're planting the seed, but they're not ready yet, right? So there's a difference between showing up and doing and then keeping the practice. You want to keep it going. Like when you don't keep it going, you're kind of being like, yes, I'm okay, I'm ready. And then you're like, no, I get distracted by the shiny penny or whatever. You got to keep your focus and attention on what it is that you really want. So if that's something that you are wanting to get going on your spiritual path, you want to stay focused, right? And that applies to everything. It's not no different from one thing to the other. So if you're wanting the spiritual path, certain things to happen, you got to stay focused, right? Because you're preparing yourself, right? Nothing comes before it's ready. So if it's not happening, you may not be doing what you need to be doing in order for that to actually happen. So, alrighty. That's pretty much just what I wanted to share here. If you have any questions, definitely, I do coaching sessions, um, you know, things like that. If you want to drop some comments below, just be mindful, about how you're saying it, because I want to keep the channel, light and positive, right? And so there are ways to say something without being negative about it, so just be mindful about how you put stuff. Like and share if you want, or, enjoy these videos. Also, stay tuned for more videos coming up. Happy journeys.